Here today for our Board of Commissioners meeting for Carbon County. It's July 17th, 2019. Would you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first item on the agenda today is a presentation of the Tourism Super Service Award. Tina Henry.
Hello, Commissioners. So, you guys have maybe heard this saying before, but she is the face of Balance Rock Eatery. Her mom even says that. I don't know if she likes it so much because this young lady is very low-key, but I can tell you from personal experience, I was just at Balance Rock today shooting a promotional video, and she has her hands full, and so I got to be in her element and help serve coffee and get some waters, but she literally keeps it all together with a smile on her face, and she definitely is a great example for customer service and for our visitors. We met people from Pennsylvania, Massachusetts today, and even though she's running around like a crazy lady because she was the only one there, she is visiting with everyone and learning where they're from, why they've come to help her. And so I'm very happy to award this customer service award to Trinity Kirby from the Balance Rock Eatery.
Trinity, you don't want to tell us about the specials today or nothing? No? Okay. Well, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Trinity. We appreciate those of you in the restaurant and hotel industry who are really the face for our visitors here. You can make a huge difference in people's impression, so thank you.
Yes,
congratulations. Thanks. Item 2 on our agenda is recognition of Marty Wilson for being awarded the EMS Paramedic of the Year Award. Dawn, are you prepared to come up and say something?
Commissioners, we just thought it would be a good thing to get the county to recognize some of our employees, and this one especially. Marty Wilson has, go back a little history on this. She started with the county, I believe, in 1992 as a part-time employee, and then a little bit later, about 8 years later, she became a full-time employee. And during that time, and up till current, she is extremely dedicated to this county, to the EMS system as a whole. And throughout all that time, she's had a number of recognitions. She put herself through paramedic school without any, support monetarily, I should put, from our county or any other system that way. She and a few others had got together and put themselves through paramedic school through Weber State University. And at that time, at the end of that course in 2008, Marty was awarded Paramedic Student of the Year for Weber State College. So that was quite incredible to get that. And she is just a huge asset to our county and very definitely the EMS system. She's on the nationwide disaster management team also. So anytime there's medical assistance potentially needed in our entire nation, She gets basically deployed same as military. I get deployment orders and the whole bit for her to travel to wherever she's going. And a lot of times she doesn't really know till a couple of weeks prior to deployment. So she may end up in Texas or at mostly she's been lately going to a lot of the political inaugurations or meetings or where they feel there might be some situation happening. You might need a mass amount of medical folks. So she's on a national disaster management team. And so because of all of her dedication for now well over 20 years, she's been in EMS for 40 years. So it's a lot of years, you know, a lot of dedication to stick it out and go through what she's gone through. And so a number of her crew members, our crew members here at the county, nominated her in the state of Utah for Paramedic of the Year, and she was awarded that last Wednesday. So if we have her come up for a minute. She's extremely dedicated. I think it's very important to state where, you know, that, and she's taught a ton of classes, and there's a number of people behind me that have been in multiple, you know, of her classes, different levels of her class. So, what you would like to say?
Something I'd like to say. This is my team. No one stands alone. This is my team. That's all I can say. Thanks.
Well, thank you. Let's just stay there for a second. Congratulations on your award from the state, and we again thank all of the folks in the EMS services. We are in good hands here in Carbon County, and we thank you all. I have an email from Zach Wise, but it would just be repeating what Don just told us. So he couldn't be here today and wanted to echo what you said about her, Don. So we recognize Zach for wanting to congratulate her as well. Let's move to item 3, approval of minutes for our last meeting, which would have been July 3rd, 2019.
I didn't see any changes.
I saw no changes. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4 on the agenda is consideration and possible approval of a county credit card for the Family Consumer Science Extension Assistant Professor, Christina Pay. Any discussion there?
This is fairly standard for our department heads, so I'll make a motion to approve the credit card for Christina Pay.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So Christina is a new employee, has taken the place of Ellen Surfastini, who retired. Okay, item 5 is consideration of and possible approval of amendment to public defender contract.
Commissioners, this change came about because one of the attorneys, it's a three-firm consortium that's been providing our public defender services as of April, at the end of March. One of those attorney firms left, And so we've been able to find another local attorney, Shane Clifford, to step in and provide that service at the same rate that the previous attorney was providing those. He has an office here in Price where he can meet with the clients he's appointed to meet with. He also regularly goes to the jail to meet with them as needed and is available to meet with them before and after court. So it's nice to not have to have somebody who does not have an office. It's nice to have somebody who is locally based here. So we propose allowing him to step in and fulfill those services in the district court as the public defender there. Also, the state imposed some new requirements on attorneys who are representing juveniles in juvenile court, requiring that any initial appearance in any kind of matter has to be represented. There has to be an attorney appointed at the beginning of that case to everyone now. So the Indigent Defense Commission acknowledged that was an increase in time and burden on these attorneys, and they've agreed to step up and provide that extra amount that's required. It's a total of $1,550 per month extra that will be paid by the Indigent Defense Commission for those extra services in the juvenile court. $1,300 of that will go to Blackburn law offices, and $250 of that will go to the people who are the second place, who cover the conflicts of interest if Mr. Blackburn's not able to handle those, and that's the firm of Oliver and Citrid. This does not extend the timeout for the contract. I believe the contract ends next year in April, so we can either renew that or rebid it, but or it may be August of next year actually. Anyway, so this doesn't extend the time of it just replaces some people and indicates that certain attorneys are going to receive a little more for the services they're paying. And again, those additional amounts are all being paid for by grant.
Thank you, Christian. Any questions?
I have no questions.
We have a motion to,
I'll make a motion that we approve the amendment for the public defender contract.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 6 on the agenda is a presentation regarding Carbon County Motocross by Cheryl Lupo. Why don't you come on up, Cheryl?
I'm just presenting numbers, just because I had a conversation with Tony Jarmello. I'm Cheryl Lupo, for the record.
Thank you.
And one of the things that we put together, and I'm just going to give you a brief introduction, not anything long and lengthy. We're just going to talk I'm going to mostly talk numbers. There are roughly 5,000 plus racers and riders in Utah. There are 6+ tracks that are not being utilized. There's probably more than that in the state of Utah. Do you guys mind if I approach you? Because I have a copy for each one of you.
You bet.
Sure.
Come on up.
Information on.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the season consists of April to August. These numbers are based on 100 racers and or riders. Days of operation, Saturday and Sunday, April through August of each year. Hours of operation, Saturday 9 to 3, Sunday 9 to dusk, because the track won't be open on Monday. Basically, what they would like to see is a start of a new conversation about how that motocross track could raise money. And so, because Tony has been a racer and a rider, he gave me the fees that he's been paying at some of the other venues. Registration fees for racers and riders: practice day, $20 per day per rider. Race days, $30 per day per rider. Let's just say that this all starts April of 2019. Let's just say that it did, and we had 100 racers and riders from April to August. And that's what these numbers are all based on. So all of those registration fees, and then on race day, you can collect $10 for each person that wants to come in and watch. So that grand total comes to $148,000. Again, that would be the whole season. The expenses consist of grooming and watering truck on rider days, which is Saturday and Sunday. One county employee equals groom plus water on Saturday, water on Sunday, 8 hours. I'm assuming that employee would be a 12-hour waged employee, times 8 days for the whole month. That would be $768. In August, because there's 5 weekends, it would be $960. Use of county equipment plus water. I did a $35, say, a mile. That piece of equipment was running down the road. And that was based on where I used to work. We used to say those hazardous material trucks were $35 a mile. So a groomer and a waterer came to about $350. I just made it up to $500 for equipment times 8 days times 2 pieces of equipment, which came to $8,000. August, $10,000. So as you can see, the flaggers, on a race day, they would need 15 flaggers. In the other venues, they use students in the area so that the money can go to the students, stay in the area. Some of the total expenses through the whole season would be $28,728. Fees collected and minus expenses comes to $119,000. This is just giving an idea, just on a very small scale, how much this motocross track could make if it was up to more than just, you know, not so much a professional right now is what it is, but if they added all the other venues to go with it. There would be some volunteers to clean the bathrooms if the county could supply cleaning supplies. We would also look at wanting to have a county employee collecting money. That way there's no questions about, and that would be 16 hours for both days. The racers and spectators arrive throughout the day, so that money collector would have to be there most of the day on race days. Garbage control, I believe the county already supplies the garbage cans and empties them. Concessions can be run by the county or from local vendors. If local vendors are used, they need plenty of time to prepare for each weekend. I know that at one time I asked Sherald's to go out there quickly, and it kind of turned into a big muffled up mess, and that all didn't happen, and you know, there was some water available or whatnot for them. But also I did speak to Kevin. He's a county employee out in Delta, Millard County, and he says, you know, just as a rural example comparison to Carbon County, he said it's just a huge, huge venue, and they do what they can to help, you know, do whatever the county does whatever the people need to make it a success. The other thing that I have here, and is it okay if I approach again?
Sure.
I found an impact study, a motocross impact study that was done in Georgia. And it shows this is Georgia's demographics of what your cities, their county does, how many people are there, how much money they make. So it was kind of close to Carbon County. And the impact study was based on other than just the small. It's based on a bigger venue. It's based on a 24,000 population. But they also do training. People come from other countries. They actually stay there. So it can show you what it could actually build up to, and it's in the millions of dollars. And so, not saying that we want to do that, but it's just showing you what it could become if. And Tony Darmello is going to talk about some of the other racetracks like Jordan River, that kind of, those places that that have slowed down because they're not getting financial support but anyways, go ahead, Tony.
Hi, my name's Tony Aramillo. I'm actually the president of Carbon Emery Motorcycle Club. And I talked to Mr. Martinez here about a week ago, and it's not that I didn't think we got anywhere. I would just like to talk to everyone, because this is actually a big thing. Jordan River opened a big door for us, a big door. They pretty much closed it down. It's not closed, but it's almost there. We could actually charge riders per day, per weekend, and we could make this track money. I think I seen in the paper that Mr. Martinez wanted to raise taxes. This would actually help our base out there. I mean, if we make money out there, it's gonna be that much easier for people to come here, to see what else we got here. I mean, every time Kenny has a race, people ask him, what's there to do? And he sends them out to the desert. He sends them, I mean, this is a good thing. If we got riders that actually come and see Price, there's more than a motocross track. There's a lot more for them to see. So if we enlighten them, it also helps us. With the track itself, I think if we charged Monday or Saturday and Sunday, like Cheryl was saying, and even we could leave the track open Monday and Tuesday for free days. You know, so that way the people that, or I should say the Carbon County people that ride a lot can actually go there on a Monday and a Tuesday or whatever day that they want to leave it open for open public. But I believe that with Jordan River down, we can make money. We could make this a go. We could make, so we could have a really good track like it used to be. Kenny will tell you that we used to have 400 to 800 riders here. I mean, that's a lot of people. That's just riders. That's not counting, you know, the families that come here and the people that go to the restaurants and the fuel and everything. I mean, I'd like to see something like that happen again. And I believe we can. And he was supposed to come, but he couldn't make it, which I agree with him because he's from Provo. Nick Ware is the premier track builder. And he said he'd basically work on this track for nothing. He would like to see this track back up, running to where it used to be and past that point. To me, we have to spend a little money to make a lot of money. And we're not asking for zillions or anything. We're just saying that if in most of the money, I mean, most of the things that we could do as volunteers. Whether it watering, you know, whatever it takes. I got just a few people that can make it today because most people are at work. We got volunteers. I got probably 30 or more volunteers. And that's from people from out of state, out of town, and in town. That will say, Tony, we'll come help. What does it take? What do we need to do? They're more excited about getting this track open than anybody. Because we want to see this place back to where it was. And that's top track in the state. We was talking about Delta. What was I telling you? I mean, I don't sound to me mean, but Delta, Utah, the armpit of the world. They get 400 riders plus. That's on an average day. They're charging them $30. You know, that's a lot of money per weekend.
Is it the Delta numbers that you just gave us, is that for a race day or is that just an average weekend?
Actually, if you look at their race schedules, what they do is they do a Friday practice, which they usually get probably 200-300 riders, racers, but they'll get a lot more riders on that day because there'll be a lot more riders than there will be racers. Because a lot of people don't race, but they like to ride the tracks. So Saturday and Sunday, you'll see probably a higher count than, what would you say, Kenny? What would you say their count is on an average weekend? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Because it's USRA's racing on Sunday. I forgot about that. And so, what's your numbers? Your numbers are high, aren't they? On an RMX race there, or a USRA?
We had 198 riders.
On a Sunday? The numbers are there. But my big thing is we need to give them a track that they will come back to.
So my question is it Delta putting on the races, or is it a promoter? Because
It was
what
Delta.
we've had here
The
are
original,
promoters.
the original owners were Bunker. So RMX now, see, that's why most of the tracks are closed, because RMX actually rents the tracks, leases the tracks. And then if they have a race somewhere, they're closed. All their tracks are closed. So the only track that's actually open in Utah is Jordan River and here.
So this is an open window of opportunity right now for those, because I spoke to a racer that lives here and has a business here in Price, and he just went to Mesquite, drove 5 hours just to ride the tracks there because our tracks aren't ready.
I do that every winter. Me and my daughter's 15 years old. She's been racing since she was 3. I've been racing since I was 12. I've been on tracks for almost 50 years. So, you know, and we go to Mesquite every winter, and we race and ride there all winter long too. So we ride year round.
And one last thing that I wanted to just mention, during our commission race, and when I've done economic development, we talked about keeping the kids here. Now I want our kids to have something to do and recreate. And there's a bunch of kids that already are doing this. And I found this article this gentleman wrote, I think it was Jeff, but it's 33 reasons why kids should do motocross. And it really unplugs them from the internet. It's very family oriented. And I thought it was just a really nice read about what our youth can do besides all the other things that we have to offer here for our youth. And then his daughter, she's won a lot of races over the years.
She's
and
pretty fast.
Yeah, she's only 16 years
She beats
old.
me. She's 15.
Yeah, so, you know, we've got a local girl that would like to ride on those tracks safely and, you know.
See, that's the big thing to me is if we get Nick here, he actually builds tracks for vets, for intermediates, for novice, and he probably, I know he does, he has the lowest mortality rate in motocross, and I hate to say that because it's a bad sport, and injuries in the last 10 years in Jordan River. I mean, you hardly see anybody get hurt there, and that's what the whole big thing is now too, is we need to actually get waivers signed for people that go to the track. I mean, this is the only place that you can go to that you don't have to sign waivers. There's not even a sign up. There's a sign actually in the back, way in the back, that people won't see that says you got to ride the track under your own, you know, whatever. But there's no signs. There's nothing there. We need to get waivers there. We need to get stuff that actually covers you guys too. Because the only time there was ever waivers signed is when I had my races, or when other people like Kenny and other people come that had races. We had waivers signed. But that's a big thing that you guys need to do to cover yourselves, is to get waivers.
Plus, this is the last track you were saying in Utah that does not charge.
Yeah, we're the only track.
All the other tracks charge for riders and races.
And everybody I've talked to, I mean everybody, there hasn't been a single person that said, no, we don't want to pay. Everybody's like, yeah, we'll pay, we'll volunteer, whatever it takes. We got so many people that want to get this track back up and going that it's mind-boggling to me.
So I guess Tony Martinez is the one that oversees the track, is what I'm understanding.
That's correct.
And that it would be nice to have future dialogues.
Yeah, this
about-
is, to me, right now, is
This
open
is-
the dialogue.
Yeah, that's all this is. We're not asking for anything. We're not, you know, it does state in here what is needed, like the ambulance service on a race day. There's a fee of, Tony said in other places is $300. But the money that this generates, this could actually pay back the use of that employee, those 2 employees, the equipment.
And keep employees.
Yeah. maybe possibly other employees. It starts building, and of course, you guys all know my background is bringing more people to work. So,
Well,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Both, appreciate you, appreciate all of
Appreciate
you. Yes.
Commissioners, my name is Doug Reinhardt. My son rode bikes for quite a while, and he really enjoys this track up here. Hard-packed, overgroomed. He enjoys riding. And I know for myself personally, I'd be more than willing to pay $20 Saturday, $20 Sunday for a groom track. And I also have a suggestion on a way that could be, you could collect fees. That little kiosk that's out there, do it just like they do at the state parks. You need the honor system, may or may not work, but you go up there, you put a ticker tape with a number and thing like that, and a little waiver box right there. They sign it, they put the waiver in the box, they get a number, they put it in their windshield. You have a marshal come around noon, 5 o'clock, check out who's riding out there. If they don't have their things, you have maybe one of Sheriff Wood's deputies come out there and have a big thing up there. Your violators will be fined $50, or if you're on the track without your marker or your right to be there. And I know there's lots of people. I go there all the time, and there's folks that come from Grand Junction, from Delta, from Santaquin, from Provo, from down south, Hurricane. They come there just to ride the track. And there was just the other day, there was two people out there camping, brought their kids and everything, and they didn't know that we had a nice sand track out in the desert out there a little bit, right behind the track. So they went out there and camped and spent another night out there and stayed in the community for an extra day just to ride around here, ride our trails and some of the other stuff that we have, the motorcyclists would enjoy. So, but having a kiosk, just like they do at the state parks, would be an effective way to collect revenue. I would believe so. So it's something you can banter about and talk about. So
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. Tony, do you have any questions for these folks?
No, I don't. I think we kind of addressed that this really wasn't the format. We tried to do some sit-downs, but that wasn't really open, wasn't accepted. So appreciate you guys' comments, and hopefully we can look forward to some sit-down meetings and resolving things. So I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda, item 7, is a public hearing on the proposed amendments to the budget 2019. So we just need to open a public hearing. Is that?
Need to go
Well,
through.
I think you need to have Seth introduce the proposed amendments and then take comments on them.
Okay.
Do you want to do that on there, or just
I'll
walk
just
through?
talk here.
Okay.
You guys, or you have it in front of you, and then I'll go over the key points here. As part of our budget amendments, the main purpose is that we have a few unexpected expenses or projects that we need to get done, as well as maybe some revenue that wasn't, we hadn't budgeted for, that will show in these budget amendments. Some of the main things that we're showing here, there's a few projects, and I'll just go through the funds as they relate to the different funds. So our general fund, Fund 10, we have an increase for delinquent prior taxes, and that relates mainly to our tax sale. We received quite a bit of revenue there. So we show an increase from what we had expected from our initial budget for the year. There's also some increases in what we where we're tracking for our justice court fines, our interest earnings. There's an increase of about $150,000 there in our budget, and that has to do with our PTIFs. Their interest rate is just about tripled compared to last year, which was unexpected for us. A good thing to have. And then we have a decent increase in our revenue. Just in our miscellaneous line, it's $1036.60. And so the projects that those relate to is the widening of the road there on Highway 10. We show an increase of about $100,000 in the commissioner's budget, in the professional and technical to cover that, purchase the road and the improvements, but all of that, or at least most of that, is covered through a reimbursement from UDOT for that project. So it's not necessarily something where we're using money that was, in the bank or whatever. It's actually money that's reimbursed to us. Also with that miscellaneous line, there was a K9 or two that was bought through the Sheriff's Department, and so we wanted to show the revenue that was received there. That was, and there was mainly through donations, but we needed to show that. We also purchased about $65,000 in new voting equipment. That was a necessary upgrade, but again, it was all things that will be reimbursed through state and federal funds that they've set aside and provided for us to update our equipment. Those are the main changes for Fund 10. There's one other, the airport remodel that we're doing so that USU Eastern can start putting classes and whatnot out of the airport. We've shown some money coming from Fund 10 over to Fund 54 to cover that. So those are the main increases in revenue and expenses for Fund 10. Like I said, most of it are things that we have some new revenue source, not necessarily new, but unexpected, whether that be a reimbursement for voting equipment or the UDOT, the money they've provided for widening the road. So a couple of other things just to mention real quick. We have we show money from, or revenue coming from Fund 15, which is our tourism, and that will be used for the airport as well to help fund the remodel there. There's two other major things I want to mention. One is Fund 45 and capital projects. When we initially did our budget last year, we didn't have a firm number on what had been spent for the EWP projects and what we expected to spend this year, and we received that a couple of months into 2019, and so we've included that as revenue from the state and federal as far as the grant money that they've provided for us, and then the expenses of the EWP projects you can see there in Fund 45. Fund 54, again, just re-mentioning that there's the revenue from the county as well as from Fund 15 to cover the remodel of $160,000. And then finally in the MBA in Fund 56, there's the Hilltop Road project, which began at the end of 2018, and at that time again we didn't have a firm number on what we would be spending in 2019 to finish up that project. So now that we have a good number there, we've included the miscellaneous revenue as far as loan proceeds, and then the expenses in the Hilltop Road improvements. So those are the main amendments that we have. If you have any questions.
Seeing no questions, I guess we can open this public hearing now on the proposed amendments to budget 2019 budget. We'll begin this at 5:09. Are there anyone from the public that would like to come forward and speak? Rose?
I know, I always want to get up and say something.
Seeing no interest, we'll close this public hearing at 5:10. So item 8 is consideration and possible approval of resolution 2019-03, approving the proposed 2019 budget amendments.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-3.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Are there any department reports? Okay, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Thanks. Be careful going home.